Hello everybody, welcome, hola, namaste to my channel. Today's game is an absolute positional masterclass between Vishwanathan Anand and Vasily Ivanchuk, two legends of the game. Let's jump right into it. This game was played in 1992 and Ivanchuk had the white pieces and he opened with e4. Anand replied with c5, the Sicilian defense, knight f3, d6, d4, Ivanchuk strikes in the center, captures, knight takes, knight f6, knight c3, knight c6, bishop g5, e6, queen d2. Ivanchuk plans to castle queenside, hence this move queen d2. A6. Anand's plan is very simple. In the Sicilian, you usually try to push your pawns on the queen side, especially when white plans to castle queenside. So Ivanchuk castles, h6, pushing the bishop back. Bishop comes back to e3, knight takes, bishop takes, and as planned b5. Ivanchuk pushes f3 to strengthen the pawn on e4, and Vishy plays queen to a5 with the idea of pushing the pawn to b4, dislodge the knight, and then capture on a2, which might create a lot of problems for white. So Ivanchuk prevents this by pushing a3 himself, and we have e5. Because of a3, it became possible for Anand to push e5, and now as you can see, this bishop is cut off from this really strong diagonal. So the bishop has to drop back to e3, and bishop e6, a very nice square for the black bishop. A prophylactic move, proactive move by Ivanchuk, moving the king to b1, bishop e7, and g4, rook b1. Knight goes to d5. Ivanchuk wants to simplify the position a little bit, so the queen captures. Vishy wants to exchange the queens in this position, and Ivanchuk in this position played an intermittent move. Knight takes on f6, and this is where the first surprise in the game came. Actually, in this position, it's very natural to capture with the bishop on f6, but Anand here played g captures on f6, which is kind of, it seems counterintuitive, because you have messed up your pawn structure in a way for not any kind of compensation as such. But then as the game progresses, you will realize what the plan was. So Ivanchuk captures the queen on d2 and h5. This was just an amazing move by Vishy. His plan was very simple. He did not want these white pawns to start marching down the board, because if for example h4 was allowed, then you have these three really monstrous pawns. You don't want that, especially when you have a slightly messed up pawn structure. It would not have been in favor of black. So Anand immediately stops that idea by pushing h5 himself, and Ivanchuk moves the rook to g1, which was a slight inaccurate move. Probably he should have captured on h5. So Vishy captures, Ivanchuk captures, and this is the second surprising move. When Magnus Carlsen was asked about this game, actually, he replied that so the interviewer asked him, what do you think of this move, and isn't it counterintuitive? So Carlsen replied by saying, no, it's not counterintuitive, it just shows a great understanding of chess, which is obviously a great compliment for Vishwanathan Anand, as he is one of the strongest players in the world. But this move, the reason why everybody was surprised with this move is because black has one bad bishop, which is not, at least it seems it's not doing too much, and this is a good bishop, so you don't really want to trade this bishop for white's undeveloped bishop. So what is the idea here? The idea was that, like I said, continuing the previous idea, you don't want these pawns to start marching down the board. At the same time, you have an open file for the rook. Your rook needs to come to h3, but what's coming in the way of that? This bishop on f1, which is why Vishwanathan decided to exchange his good bishop for this undeveloped bishop. So probably in this position, Ivanchuk should have captured the bishop and messed up black's pawn structure even further, but maybe then because of d5, it would have become a little dicey for whites, which is why he did not do it. So he pushed b3 instead, and Vishy immediately captured. Now as you can see, after the rook captures, Vishy's rook can land on h3. So rook captures and the rook comes to h3, now also pressuring, putting some pressure on the h2 pawn, at the same time the bishop on e3. So Ivanchuk defends, and now the king starts coming to the board. And as you can see, white's king is completely cut off from the game so far, and Vishy has got a very clear path for his king. His king is going to start coming to e6, and it's going to do the same thing that the bishop was doing earlier. So Ivanchuk pushes the pawn, king comes to e6, Ivanchuk captures, bishop captures, bishop back to d2, same with Anand, bishop comes back to e1, and f6, bishop g3, kind of cutting off this rook, and d5. Probably not the strongest move in this position. Maybe Anand should have prepared this move, because what happens is after Ivanchuk captures and king captures, you're allowing the rook to land on f5, and this gives Ivanchuk a very nice tactic. His plan is that if Anand plays a slow move, like for example a5, he wants to capture this bishop. And now, as you can see, you have to capture the bishop because your rook is threatened. If you, for example, just move the rook somewhere, it's not going to be good for you, because you're just going to get bishop captures on f6, and this is a discovery. The king will have to move, and then you'll probably capture the bishop. Or again, I mean, now as you can see, you are 2 pawns down in this position. Not something you would want. So you would have to capture the bishop. So probably not. D5 was not the best move in this position. But anyways, so sorry. So after rook f5, Vishy played rook comes to c6. Now the same idea is not really possible. Rook doubles on the f file, and Vishy just defends the f6 pawn with his rook and bishop now. King comes to a safer square, king goes back, rook comes to e2, bishop guards the pawn in case there might be any threats in future, or similar ideas, because as you can see, the bishop this bishop is still on the same diagonal, so you don't want any dangerous moves in the future. Rook drops back, rook c8, bishop goes back, king comes back to e6. As you can see, the king just wants to keep coming back to e6 because that's probably the best square for him. Rook d3, rook h7, rook g3, bishop c5, and now Anand's idea is pretty simple. He wants to place this bishop on d4. As you can see, this bishop initially seemed like a bad bishop, but it's probably the most powerful piece that Anand has in this position, in this game, honestly. So Ivanchuk realizes this, and he moves the king to a2. Now the rook comes to the d file. Very nice maneuvering by Anand. Rook c3, doubling up the rooks, and h4. Ivanchuk now wants to plan to push. He plans to push this pawn down the board, hopefully to glory. But this allows Anand a very amazing tactic. He plays rook d1, which was an amazing move. Now his idea is he wants to plant the bishop on d4, like we said, and the rook will be under attack. So, for example, if say h5 is pushed, then Anand's idea is to get the bishop on d4. Now, even if you capture the rook, you're checkmated. So that doesn't really work. So that would be really sad for Ivanchuk. So that did not happen. So he decided to exchange the bishops off. So obviously that's Vishy's strongest piece. So he doesn't want to trade it off. Now rook goes back to g3. And this is the best move. I mean, this is just probably one of the best moves ever in chess history. I mean, dude, look at this. What is the idea of this move? You're just offering a free pawn, or at least it looks like a free pawn. So let's see what if. Okay, let's not see. I mean, because that's exactly what Ivanchuk played. Unfortunately, he captured the rook. So he captured the rook, and Vishy just calmly defended the check with bishop comes in between to e5. And now, what's the idea here? If you see, the same idea of checkmate is threatened on a1. At the same time, there is also a checkmate on c2 as well. So, I mean, this is, like I said, one of the best moves ever. I mean, there's no doubt why Vishy was world champion. If you can find such moves, I mean, you deserve to be world champion. So Ivanchuk did the only thing he could do, which was capture. Vishy captured with the pawn. The king comes to to b2, trying to add some protection to the c2 pawn. But then Anand just played rook d2, and in this position Ivanchuk had to resign the game because there's nothing to be done here. Your bishop is under attack. You cannot really this is a dark squared bishop. The pawn is is on a light square, so the rook cannot come and defend, because if the rook comes to c3, Anand would just capture, the king would capture, and then you would capture the bishop, and you would be down an entire piece. So that would not work, and there's no other way to do anything. You can't really push this pawn because again it's pinned, and either ways you're going to lose a piece and the game. So yeah, in this position Ivanchuk resigned the game. Let's just show what would happen in this case. If for example, I don't know, you can just push maybe f5, you would capture with this rook, king goes down, check, moves, and this is checkmate. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this game. Thank you so much. See you next time. Cheers.